Welcome. It's your man, God of Dots, and we are back. Hope everybody had a very good weekend. I know that I did, man. It's almost the end of the month. Busy work week, but hey, it is what it is, man. Hope everybody's in good spirits and all that kind of stuff. We will be, as we get close to tournament time, we will be kind of looking at some of the NCAA as far as the college basketball. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me preface this before I say it. I love basketball. How you doing, Miss Burr? I love basketball. I love the professional side of it. I can get down with some college basketball, but if you ask me who's on top, and I'm just gonna pick chalk. I just can't keep up with it, man. I just can't. Too many teams, too many games, and the guys don't stay long enough in college for me to even get familiar with them or none of that. So, but I will be talking about tournament. You know, I mean, because it is a fun time. It is time for people do the office pools and that kind of stuff. So we'll be kind of breaking that down close we get to tournament time. But tonight's episode, and Miss Murphy, since you're the only one here, I do have I would say this. I'm motivated this week. And if you want, since it's just you, I'll give you a sneak peek on what I've been working on. Matter of fact, let me get it prepped anyway. I'm gonna show it anyway, but still, what I have been working on. Where did I put it? Give me a sec, y'all. Give me a sec. When inspiration strikes. Let me put it on a overlay real quick. No, not that. Where's my overlay? Okay. Give me a sec. Yeah, I got that one. Delete. Okay. Give me a sec. Nah, I'll save it for the end of the show. Hold on. Okay, cool. Overlay 11. Download. Okay. But I'll show it. Yeah, they think you my co-host over here, Miss Murph, but it's fine. It's it is what it is. I'm just glad they ain't bum rush the door yet. I was for sure word would have got out, but I want to say thank you to those people that I rock with in the sector who kind of respect the space. So I want to say thank you to them. But anyway, let me get into the talk for the night. NBA. I said we was gonna start getting into the NBA content, and I as I've kind of gotten back into the swing of things with the NFL season wrapping up, watching more and more NBA basketball, I'm starting to notice a trend when I'm watching these games. Now, is it me? Or is scoring at an all-time high? I was having a discussion in another space about this, and people were blaming it. I wouldn't say blaming it, but people were saying, the players are more skilled offensively now than they ever were before. You have some that say, they don't teach defense like they used to. I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm kind of in the middle because when you look at some of the players, and I'm namely looking at players who are unique, in like their build, their makeup, their skill set. You just didn't see those kind of players back in the day. When I'm talking about back in the day, talking about 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I'm talking about players such as like a Dirk Nowitzki or a Luka Doncic or a Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's probably the best example of that, because you had guys who were 7 foot, had mid-range games, could shoot the occasional three. I mean, but these guys now are unicorns, but I wouldn't call them more skilled. That's why I said I'm kind of in the middle. Yes, it's a lot of skilled players. They practice more on their one-on-one offense than players previously in the past because the game is just different. And I think the NBA is kind of finding themselves in like a very odd spot because you know in other leagues when I'm talking about baseball, I'm talking about hockey, I'm talking about the NFL. you know Rules are made to increase scoring, but not to the point where every game is a shooter. I don't think people are entertained by it. Yes, I like a good basketball game, but what makes the playoffs with playoff basketball so much, what it seems like, so much better than regular season basketball is the fact that, hey, when the playoffs come, we know whether the team is talented, whether the player is talented on the defensive end. We know the intensity ratchets up. And what is commonplace now in the playoffs, when you watch the playoffs, as far as like the lower scoring games, that used to be commonplace 15, 20 years ago. It's like I can't really enjoy watching a guy go for 50 or 60. And we've had a couple guys go for 70 this season. I can't really enjoy the moment because it's like such a common. I mean, getting 40 used to be something to buzz about. Getting 50 was like, yeah, you might be at the top of Sports Center. That's like a once a week, twice a week kind of thing where guys are going out and getting 50, 60 points. It's like it's nothing. I'm like, it makes it hard for me as a fan. And I'm not a hardcore fan. I'm a casual fan, but I know, when I watch playoff basketball, I'm getting the best effort on both sides of the court. It's almost this like idea when you watch an NBA basketball, you're not going to see um, guys, really playing hard on defense. And it's not like these teams are running very difficult offensive sets. Most teams are running either a high pick and roll, having a wing player running from the corner. I mean, it's not like wildly creative basketball. Like all of a sudden, the coaching has got better, the play calling has got better, the schemes has got better. That where guys are just leaps and bounds above other players, and it kind of takes some of the enjoyment out of it because you see guys that you know 15, 20 years ago wouldn't have been getting 15 points a game, and they're out there averaging 25 and 30. It's not it's not appealing to me as a fan to watch it. And I have to put the onus on the players when I'm watching this because offense, is skill. Offense is, a coach can get sort of creative about, putting together certain schemes as far as like, high pick and roll with certain players and that kind of stuff. But defense, at the end of the day, is a effort thing. And one thing, that I think that what kind of separates basketball, even though basketball is a faster paced game, that's what separates basketball from I would say, and mainly from the NFL, but I would say that what separates basketball from baseball is just baseball. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be competitive out. It's no quarter given. It's no guys taking plays off. It's no pitchers taking plays off. Runners are running hard. When you're watching baseball, same thing with the NFL. You might have a team that is 2-10, but hey, they're going to go out there and compete and play hard. I'm namely looking at the team such as the Arizona Cardinals who played this past season. No hopes of making the playoffs, but regardless of what their record was, going out there and played hard, played competitive. When you watching NBA games, you don't know what you're getting into. Guys may get up for the matchups, like maybe a Boston to New York. Guys may get up a little bit of energy for that, and but for most times it's defense is kind of lackadaisical. It's like, yeah, we're not really in the business of stopping somebody because I want to save my energy for the other end of the floor, and it kind of takes some of the fun out of watching those games. And it just, I mean, for me as a fan, it's not enjoyable at times. Like that's why mainly I don't get into basketball like I used to until around the All-Star break, and even now. I really don't really deep dive into like watching a whole bunch of games until maybe like April, May, when we're gearing up for the playoffs. It is hard to watch to be a fan of an NBA team and watch game after game after game. Um, yeah, they play way more than they do in the NFL, but they don't play nearly as much as they do in baseball. But baseball seems to always keep that level of excitement from the beginning of the season all the way until the end of the season, where every game feels competitive, every game feels important. With the NBA, it's like, you know, yeah, Utah is on the schedule. That might be a game. I kind of take a night off, or I might not even play with some of these star players, and it is just takes some of the enjoyment out of watching basketball. But then you have those on the other side that will make that argument that these guys are more skilled. And yes, you got guys that are unicorn players, but I mean, when you really look at the players of today, do you really think they could have played? And I'm not necessarily talking about the bad boy Pistons, but in a time when guys play defense, hand checking, getting physical, the game, whistles, ref was swallowing the whistle, game was a little bit more competitive, kind of like what you see in the playoffs. And when you watch the playoffs, it's not an up and down game. Defense is important. Typically, the team that plays the best defense in the playoffs is the team that typically ends up winning the NBA championship, which is why you can't get that same level of effort on the defensive end throughout the season when you watch the NBA. And I know you'll have those NBA fans that say, "Well, the season is so long," and I get that, but it's an effort thing. I mean, you're out there playing a game that you love, a game that you grew up playing, a game that you're getting paid millions of dollars for, and I don't know what I'm getting some nights. I know if I'm getting Lakers Clippers, I know they're going to play hard, but I know if I'm getting Lakers and Pistons, I'm not sure what kind of effort I'm getting from the Lakers. It's got kind of a sad state of affairs now. The money's still coming in for the NBA. That's no doubt. It's still big business, but as a fan, it's hard to watch regular season basketball. It is hard to watch regular season basketball, and the NBA won't admit it, but all these teams are not selling out games. All these teams are not selling out the arena for 42 home games. They're not everybody. Not everybody. If I'm paying my money to see star players, to see a good basketball game, and to see guys just playing that Ole style defense, I can't get into it. I do not want to watch it. Yeah, I'll pass. Wake me up around April, but as that's me as a fan, as the analyst, I'm gonna get up here and talking about it. Since you here, Miss Merville, your 76ers is your season over. No real timetable with Joel Embiid. Is Philadelphia season over? I do think they make the playoffs because I mean you talk about a very down East team, but if anybody besides a 76ers fan got them getting out of the first round, when you look at some of the potential matchups of the first round, I'm talking about the top four currently in the East, it ain't looking good. If I'm Philly, I sit Embiid for the rest of the season. I mean, you're not making a deep run to the playoffs. Why bring him back for a run that is not going to end up in the if you're not even talking about a conference championship when you look at this Philly team without a fully healthy and engaged Embiid. You're not. I would sit Embiid for the rest of the season, see what I have with some of the other guys. Yeah, I mean, Miss Burke, no, I would sit Embiid. And I would spend most of my time with Embiid, with him sitting, talking to his agent, talking to him, telling him, what we're gonna do with the team next year, who we think about bringing in, some of the potential matchups. Maybe you can go ahead and start doing what NBA players do better than anybody in sports. Go ahead and start some of that backroom recruiting. See if you can get a guy to come here and play with you. I know Philadelphia was really pushing to try to get Dame Lillard, but Portland's asking price was a little too high. I would spend the rest of my season doing that. I think Philadelphia is going to get into the playoffs. I don't see how this team is currently made up, them making any kind of noise in the playoffs. Let it go. Let it go. This is kind of one of those, hey, you swallow the bullet. It may not be popular to fans. It may not be popular to people paying. I'm not saying going out there and just flat out tank, but I'd be worried about the health of Tyrese Maxey right now. You know, I do. You know, I'd be worried about his health. You know, I don't want him to get hurt in the short term. Definitely don't want him to get hurt in the long term. Like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it to really try to push for the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference when in a 7 game series you're not beating Milwaukee, you're not beating Boston, you're not beating New York, you're not beating Cleveland in a 7 game series without a healthy, not a guy coming back off of injury, still trying to work his way into shape, was kind of like led to their downfall last season in the playoffs when he went down. Give me a fully healthy and engaged MB where we was watching before he got hurt. We're having a different discussion. Right now, we're not having that discussion. And before I kind of switch lanes a little bit, I'm thinking about um, you know, if we still be doing the NFL content, not this focus as we was during the season. But the NFL draft combine is this week. So we will be kind of, slipping some of that up in here. But I want to talk about, LeBron James and namely Bronny James. It came out, ESPN did a mock draft for the upcoming NBA draft. And a lot of noise was made coming into this season, based off statements that LeBron has made. I want to have the opportunity to play with my son. I want to, at least play 1 year with Bronny. And, Bronny came into USC, had the health scare, which was, I think, really affected him as a player physically and mentally. But, a lot of pressure was put on Bronny. He came in, there was that talk at the beginning of the season that he was a possible lottery pick. Then it became, maybe he's a first round guy. Now it's gotten all the way down to ESPN. Excuse me. Give me a sec. All right, I'm back. I gotta give you soda drink. But it's come out that ESPN did the latest mock draft, and right now Bronny is being projected to be an undrafted player. And I know that's something that he doesn't want to hear. LeBron ended up putting out a tweet, pretty much blasting ESPN and any of these people that do this kind of mock drafts and draft predictions, and saying, he just wants to play, and yeah, you don't put that pressure on him. I mean, but and he since deleted the tweet, but LeBron's got to understand this is the age of social media. Bronny James is the son of LeBron James, and who can be argued as the greatest NBA player of all time. That he's going to have those expectations and a bit unfairly are placed upon him due to his relation to you. So you can't be mad when they're scrutinizing this game. Same thing happened to Michael Jordan's son. When he started playing basketball and started getting a little attention. Um, it's going to happen. It was, it wasn't as bad then, because he didn't have social media, but you can't escape the fact Bronny has looked just like a regular degular college basketball player. Nothing about Bronny, and I like his game, but nothing about his game to me. And this is just me talking. Nothing about his game said lottery pick. I didn't, that's not to say that he wouldn't be a good NBA player, because I think he's got the skill set to be a good NBA player, but nothing about Bronny's game had me thinking he was going to be the next Trae Young, the next Luka Doncic. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. And that's just based off watching this game. I like his game, but it doesn't blow me away. It didn't scream lottery. It didn't scream number one pick. And I mean, unfortunately, he just happens to be the son of LeBron James. You can't escape the fact. Bronny may end up playing, all 4 years in college and never make it to the NBA. I don't think for me, I don't think, it would be a disappointment. It would be a disappointment for those that put that undue pressure on them. I just want a young man to, enjoy playing, enjoy college life, and whatever happens at the next level, if it happens at the next level, let it be what it's going to be. Let it be what it's going to be. But LeBron has got to understand, hey, that's going to come with it. You worried about Bronny, Bryce James. People are starting to look at him in the same vein they was looking at Bronny. you're gonna be right back in this situation. If Bryce doesn't develop into what you are, and that's not fair to the kids. But I mean, this is the the business that you are in when you are the son of a famous athlete, and I don't think you can find too many people on planet Earth who are more of a household name and a brand name than LeBron James. There's few athletes on God's green earth right now that you can even put in the same stratosphere with the LeBron James. Maybe a Messi or Ronaldo. We're not even talking about American players. I don't think it's any American players right now in any sport that you can say is on the equivalent of a LeBron James. None of them. None of them. But hopefully, Bronny ends up, you know, returning back to form. Developing this game, and we'll see what it's like. But I'm not surprised that ESPN has him undrafted. Basketball is not the NFL. It's not 200 something players getting drafted every year. It's only 64 guys, young men get drafted to the NBA. Not only is he competing with guys playing in college ball now that are balling out, all Americans, he's also competing against guys overseas. So, I mean, for him to not get drafted is not it's not a knock on him that he didn't reach that level. I mean, it's only 64 kids every year they get drafted. And I'm not saying sign a two-way deal or G League. Get drafted to the NBA. So, like I said, I'm not surprised. Based off the season that he's had, it's hard to argue against that. But like I said, I hope the young man just continues to enjoy life. And speaking of enjoying life, since it's just Miss Murph here, because I know somebody kept peeking in, seeing what's going on. There must be something going on that I'm missing. Do you want a sneak peek, Miss Murph, of my motivation? If you say no, then I'll end the show, and nobody will know. Well, it's not like anybody come over here anyway, which is a good thing. Oh, what I do with it? Did I save it already? Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll show you. I've been been motivated this week. Sneak peek. No one else has seen it. I doubt anybody come over here and watch the replay to see it. But yeah, that's what I have on the mind. Bad. I got like 3 or 4 of them like that. Bad. Oh, I've been digging in the crates, blowing the dust off the hard drive, finding some stuff. I said, okay, it's time. I've enjoyed vacation, and been enjoying my break from over there, but it's time for me to provide content for the home base, but boy, it is coming together very nicely what I'm working on. And, I had this ready just in case last week. I had this ready just in case last week, but I said let me hold it till I'm motivated, because I didn't want to get out there and force it. But yeah, the people gonna get what they want. The people gonna get what they want. But anyway, what's it tomorrow? Wednesday? Nah, not Wednesday. Thursday we'll be back with another show. I will be kind of mixing a little bit with the NBA and the NFL. I want to kind of talk about the draft combine and that kind of stuff, what some of the prospects are kind of looking like. And Freestyle Friday show. Make sure you tune in for that one. We will be discussing a couple of topics, but I want to kind of focus in and have a broader discussion. For those who haven't seen it, Cam Newton getting jumped at an event that he was participating in, and kind of like the fallout from that. It's been people on both sides of this, and I want to kind of have a discussion about it and have a branch out to a much broader discussion, because it's a discussion to be had. It's a discussion to be had, because this is one of the worries the regular people, let alone a Cam Newton who is a celebrity. But this is one of the concerns that regular people have when it comes to giving back to the community. But yeah, that's I kind of want to use that as a vehicle to kind of broaden the discussion on that. Because you have some that feel like Cam shouldn't even be wasting his time doing that. You got those that feel like he should be doing more. It's people like people have various opinions on it. I have my own, but it leads to a much larger discussion for me when you kind of take the celebrity out of it and then look at reason why you may not see as many professionals in our community giving back that actively in our community like we should. But it's a discussion to be had, so we'll be doing that on Friday. Then of course, yeah, I'll be in the other space on Friday. I told my opinion. I was gonna get what she wanted, so yeah, I'll be over there. Shout out to the one in the chat. Yeah, you can't please everyone, Miss Murphy. Like I said, I want to have that broader discussion. I've invited grown man and me and my eyes, try to get them come through, and hopefully some other people may want to participate in the conversation. But it's a conversation to be had, because that's kind of like my first thought, like y'all niggas trifling, but at the same time it's been some other commentary came out about it, but that's gonna be like that's gonna be like the vehicle to deliver the message. And of course we'll do that, and I'll make sure I've done it in enough time to make sure I'm in my Sunday's best. Shout out to the one in the chat. Woo! But anyway, let me get my behind up out of here. For those who may come in, may not, probably won't. It is what it is over here. I ain't number chasing, but I like the growth and the vibe over here. But it's always like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Gator Girl, I know you somewhere with your Laker hate, somewhere sipping on a margarita or some shit. It's time to come on home. You've been missing too long. I miss having my number one hater in the space, but I don't know. Maybe you found you some put them 12 feet deep. Yeah, Miss Merv. Hold on. I'll give you hold on, let me pull it up. Because I have it on my phone. Oh, man, okay, hold on for a second. Cause see, what I don't like, there's a lot to not like about that crew. But one thing I don't like, is just the rewriting of history, and people thinking, you dumb, you don't know what's going on, you don't remember. I just that's probably one of the reasons why I do what I do, is I don't when I review it, I don't insult my intelligence. But what's the name of that article? I should just look it up on my phone. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, I could have just duh, dummy, you got a MacBook. Boy, I'm slow sometimes. Okay, hold on. Let me see if it's still one in the chat. Okay, cool. Let me show you this real quick. You can see, I heard a certain someone saying, our relationship wasn't like that. Let me see if I can blow it up. Our relationship wasn't like that. I wasn't that heavily involved. And I see what you're saying here. I'm just giving you a sneak peek. This is a person that used to be down with that crew. She used to write articles. You may have heard of her. You may have seen her around Black Anonymous. And shout out to Black Anonymous. Good people. Who kind of got away when the getting was good. She used to be, down with that camp. And for him to say, and mind you, this is what's the date on this article? March 2021. We weren't really cool then. We got closer and all. He's listed very prominently. This gentleman right here listed very prominently. Throughout their history. And I just don't like the fact that in the title of this article, who are the anti-fraud wars? And this is where she's kind of like, this is part of when she starts to separate. So this is around the time when the Catherine Brown lawsuit started dropping. Of course, you see that name right there. But I had to start digging in the crates on these folks. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna close that. I'm just gonna leave that up so I can have it in place. It's about time. And I felt like it's only right if I do it. It's only right because I have my own sense of flair, but it's something ain't adding up. Everybody trying to jump off the train now. No, 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 no. Buckle up for this ride. But anyway, let me get my behind up out of here. As always, enjoy for the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.
Loving you is all